morning in what is a pretty miserable day here at Warwick Farm. We've had a lot of rain, as you know. It's been a tough week or two, and it's going to make the next couple of weeks fairly demanding. So we've got a few in anyway. So the highlight of the week undoubtedly was Highlights winning for the second time this preparation. He's been a really good horse. He's always tries his hardest. He's been in a few close finishes, and I must say, I thought he had been or got beaten on Saturday. There wasn't too much in it, and War Eternal in the same race went super. He just got a long way back from a wide gate, and he could possibly go to the South Grafton Cup next Sunday. There's also a race for him on Saturday, but I think if we can get him into the big dance, he wouldn't be completely out of it. So that's the main aim at this stage. Nice to see some sunshine here at Warwick Farm, but it's going to take a week or two to dry out. As well as that, we had a winner ride the river for Derby, won really impressively in a Super Maiden over 900. I thought he was very, very good. He's a horse of considerable promise, so he will possibly run at the back end of the season at Randwick the 27th. And also from left field, Chinkatore winning by about 10 on the Gold Coast Poly track. He led up, had to do a bit of work, and he obviously loved that ground, the synthetic track. So he's nominated for Wednesday. We may save him. He could possibly go to the South Grafton Cup too, but he needs a good track to show his best. As well as that, it's pretty miserable at the moment, but we get a bit of something to look forward to, because Overpass is back in the stable today, and it's a little bit easier getting out of bed every morning when you've got a horse like him in the stable. 7.7 million. I'm pretty sure he can add to it in the spring, and would probably be looking at the Everest or Sydney Stakes. That's the Everest Consolation. That's a pretty good option for him. We may even look at taking him down to Flemington to the Champions Sprint, the last day of the carnival down there, and then I'd love to get back to Perth, as would someone else. I'm thinking, Bobby.
Hello.
Who's back today?
Oh, Overpass is back in today. Be happy to see him.
Do you think you can get some more frequent mile points?
I think so, yeah, definitely.
So, as well as that, he gets his travelling mate Malkovich. He is back in too. So really looking forward to him coming back in. And we've got a fair few runners tomorrow. We'll get into them. I might as well touch base on it. I've got the co-owner here, Dr. Alan Frogley, former jockey, 6 winners from 1,600 rides at a lot less than 1%. Al Allegron.
Yes, look, getting on a plane this afternoon to go up and watch him perform tomorrow. He's blossomed up there, and I saw a video of him yesterday. He looks terrific, and he seems to be well capable of handling wet tracks, so we're quite confident.
Yeah, and I think he's ready to run a big race. He's winning the Brisbane Cup. I don't think that's the end of the story. He built really nicely to that and seems to have come through it well. I think back and trip on a very demanding track is probably going to be good for him. And as well as that, he was just beaten in the Australian Derby when Hitotsu won on a very wet track. So I don't think it'll play against him. Rachel King rides. She's back from overseas. And she's also on What He Goes. So from a good gate, he can be closer too. He doesn't have to go all the way back, which we've been forced to do his last couple. Actually, talking about Rachel King, of course, she's newly married today, and it was actually my morning off today. Where was Rachel King's husband today, Luke Hilton?
Still in bed.
What's it?
Yeah, Luke King.
Luke King, what happened?
Well, apparently he called in sick.
Is that right, Bobby?
Yeah, it is right. It is.
Just had a month off. I've had to do the lot, and Luke's sick. I'll tell you what, the Constitution. Talking about Constitution, Al, mate, have you gone out and had a look at it? You might have to get the scope out.
Yes, I think I perhaps should, because this, he looked fine yesterday, so I'm surprised that he's gone downhill the following day.
Yeah, anyway, talking about Constitution, what do we think about the Wallabies? I'm actually going to the Wallabies tomorrow night. Wales, I'm taking my son and 4 of his mates. How do you see it, Al?
Well, I think this new Kiwi coach has probably picked the best team that we've got. But the interesting thing is that it's our 7th Australian captain within a year. So
well.
it's not much.
Well, Joe Schmidt is from my hometown in New Zealand, Woodville. When you're from Woodville, there's no such thing as homesickness. And he taught me in third form English when you're 13. So it really limited my options in terms of career, because after Joe taught me for a year in English, I was a year behind and I really failed to catch up. And so I had to become a horse trainer. And talking about successful sports teams, Ashish, mate, India 2020, finally you won a big tournament.
Yeah, we missed that ODI one last time, so happy to get this one.
Yeah, well, and your man Coley retired.
Yeah, so it's time for the new boys to come up and show what they can do now.
Yeah, well, there you go, from one success to another. So we'll have a quick look down. I guess we'll talk briefly about what he goes. He's won on a wet track. He's in great order. He's got a good gate tomorrow. Smack bang in the middle of the pack, 8 of 15. Rachel King on. Gets in with a really good weight. And I think if anything, he's probably looking for 1500. So I think on a really demanding track, fitness will be good for him. He'll be able to put himself in the first 4 or 5 and go from there. So really happy with him. Here's Thunderlips, he's in good order. Of course, he came third in the Canberra Guineas, had a good prep last time. He's probably looking at kicking off in the new season. He's in good order. Line of Fire, another one for Derby. Here's a horse running next week, Don Pedro. He trialled really well here earlier in the week. He can miss the jump, but I think if he jumps, he'll be hard to beat. Obviously, it's going to be really wet again. We've got our mate Arapaho there. Our Anchorage, this is a horse that I thought ran really, really well last week. We're possibly going to run next week. And he just sort of sat outside the lead and was wide the whole way, but really stuck on well. And I thought he went very well. Highlights, he's rock hard fit. He's a gentleman, this fella. Come on, buddy, come around. If you like the camera better than that, you made an effort last week, and he's in great order. He's had a good preparation. He's been down to Melbourne. It was good. He was good last week, and he's rock hard fit. So I think he's definitely an each way hope tomorrow. He'll probably go for a break. We'll bring him back for late spring, even a summer preparation. He's Suasive. He's possibly going to run next week as well. I got a bigger fright than he did. Hey, mate. He's in good order. He's a definite Saturday horse. He's a horse I've got huge hopes for. Cabalas, he's in great order. He's just coming up beautifully and looking at trialling probably the end of July. So he's in good order. Here's another horse that possibly runs Wednesday. Luna Field, he trialled really, really well earlier in the week. So he's definitely up and going. He's fit enough. We got any questions? Plans for Line of Fire. The plans are get to another trial and then hopefully we can get him to the races, but it's very hard to even get in the trials at the moment with the wet track. So that he was balloted on Monday at Hawkesbury and we may go Tuesday. Here we go. Who's the horse to follow from the Mug Punter for the new racing season? I think I just shown him. He's in box 4. The dark horse up there. That bloke. He's shalailed. He didn't fire last week, but he gets 2 kilos off. He does like a really wet track, so I think he's a definite hope, and he likes his food as much as I do. He's a more victorious. He's in great order. Wonderful stream, Jeff. Yeah. Here we go. Eddie, what's next for War Eternal? He is possibly South Grafton Cup. I think I mentioned that early on. He's Iron and Merc. He just probably wasn't at his best last week. He was in between runners. Definitely likes clear air. He got a bit of a sort of... We had a look around, a slash semi-check at about the 600s. That definitely cost him. He's punting. He's trialling on Monday. He's a really nice horse by Super Seth. He's doing a great job at stud. What else? All in the Mind. He didn't fire the other day. He was a tad disappointing. Here he is. I know a star. Hard not to like this bloke. He's just done everything very well. Always a bit of a concern on the back up. He ran a really good race last week, but he's going to be hard to beat in the Winter Stakes. I think he is very, very well. And he seems bright, so that's all we can ask for. Canadian Express is tracking well, Sam. He's in good order, coming along nicely, so not too much to report at this stage. The question from Paul, any horses for Grafton? Possibly I own a Merc and there are Morney. I think a Legron will definitely put out and look for a spring campaign, wouldn't lose a draw tomorrow. Pete, good to have you on. And he's right, the River, what a super win last week. Really promising horse. He ran a bit of time and went super, so he's in great order. The Fleet Commander's coming along good, and here is War Eternal and the number 1 Farrier in the country. What are you doing here, Steve?
I've got to put some Equilocks on, so I'm drawing the foot out to make sure the Equilocks grabs to the foot, not to the moisture.
There we go, Master Farrier. So when you see Equilocks on, it can be a bit of a negative. A lot of people think any hoof changes is a cross, but I think when Steve does it, particularly with our stable, the Equilocks, if anything, is a positive. So, and I think the record definitely shows that. So I've already paid your bill, Steve. You're a crucial part of the team. So it's definitely a team effort here. You've got vets, farriers, we've got a great feed, we've got a nutritionist actually from America. I'll get over to She's an A-lister. She's running tomorrow. She's fresh up. She did a good job last time. Went up through all the grades and was super. We duck into it. This is the filly side of it. It's a lot happening. Here she is here. She's an A-lister and she's in good order. Trialled the other day but didn't have the blinkers on. She's a horse that does have blinkers on when she races. They'll go back on tomorrow. Zach Lloyd rides her. She has got a bit of weight, no doubt about it. At her first start, believe it or not, she went to a 3rd meeting at Muswellbrook on Melbourne Cup Day. Ran a very good second on a heavy track and she got beaten by Samana, who's a Group 1 performer, multiple Group 1 performer. So interesting how that works out. He's Disneck, so he's been up for a while. He ran super last week, a great second. He's got a bit of an awkward gait. He's drawing the inside. Every other time we want him to draw the inside, he draws the outside. But I think we'll probably have a shot at it tomorrow. He's up and going, he's fit, and he gets him with no weight, Jay Forward on. So he's a definite hope. He's Infatuation for any of those that ask. My racehorse. She's in good order. She's coming up beautifully. So she's a high-class filly on her day, no doubt about it. Lady of Luxury, she'll race next week. And she's going really well. She was very unlucky in the Gay Waterhouse. Anyway, anything else to add, Bobby? What's the best of the weekend?
I think She's an A-lister could go good first up, I think, on a wet track.
There we go. She's an A-lister. We've got them all covered. And that pretty much finishes off. Here we'll get Frenchie. Frenchie! What's the best for the weekend? Come on!
Come on, Ashish, I don't know.
Hello. Well, we didn't get much help there. So long, folks. Have a good weekend. I think Allegron is really over the odds. I think he's ready to run a big race, and I think Wadigos can go good too. But I have Allegron on top at great each way bets. Here we go. Here we go from Saxon. Yeah, how's my form looking for gym circuit tomorrow? Been training hard this week. I'm actually doing a competition called High Rocks. I don't know why, but it's essentially 8-kilometre runs with workouts in between. Anyway, I'm going to run the long last of the people in my gym. So all the best. Take care. Good luck over the weekend. Make sure you watch a good game of rugby, the All Blacks versus England, and then you'll be able to watch your Wallabies afterwards.